One, two. All right, guys, boys, get ready, get ready.
Yeah!
Hey guys, welcome back to another OverRice video. This is the OverRice Film Club, or Movie Club, or Book Club, or you know what, Media Club. We'll just call it Media Club because we'll be talking about a lot of
Yeah.
things in this segment. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about one of our favorite shows. I'm gonna speak for all of us when I say that because we're gonna be talking about The Good Place. I consider it personally to be one of the more underrated sitcoms of our generation as of right now because it is written by Michael Schur, right? The one who did
Yes.
the Office, Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine Nine, right? Rutherford Falls. It's like one
Rutherford
of
Falls.
the.
He
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
He was one of the
Goated.
co-writers. Yeah, yeah. He was. What I'm saying is he's super underrated. I mean, this show is super underrated. He's not.
Fair.
Sadly, this show did not pick up a lot of traction when it first released, but it did initially because of the goaded twist ending. Anyways, we'll be talking about The Good Place. We have Miggy,
Okay, hi. Hello, what's up, guys?
and also we have Satu.
It's your boy in the
Right,
house. Good to be here with the brethren. I'm excited.
Yeah, and my name is Roy, and yeah, we're gonna be talking about The Good Place. I am very excited. I think this is super underrated, and I just want to hear what you guys have to say about this because I do believe it is the funniest show. It is my favorite show of all time, right? I like talking about life and death, not through the lens of religious means or anything like that.
Yeah.
I like seeing it from an ethical point of view, and I think they did it perfectly, personally. Like throughout the, oh my god, season one I think was perfect, and then the ending of season four, I think
At
was
first,
perfect.
I thought the show was wacky, because it's like, welcome to the good place. Oh, so what's the good place? I feel like, heaven. So this is what heaven looks like. And
Yeah,
that
yeah,
show was like, oh, interesting.
that's their depiction
Uh,
of it, right?
yeah. And I found Janet the most interesting because she just pops up out of nowhere. Just call her Janet. Like, oh, I need ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream. I want something like that, bro.
we
I
we
do
all
want
want a
something
Janet.
like
Yeah.
that.
Outside of the
Yeah.
show, we all need a Janet.
Yo, legit though.
But
Editor.
that being said, who is your favorite character?
Okay, okay. Roy, since you're the host, you 1st.
Mhm. All right, perfect. Thank you for hosting that part. My favorite character is Chidi. Actually, he's my favorite TV character of all time.
Oh,
Chidi
Why?
Anagonda.
bold words, my friend.
It
Bold
is, it is.
words.
I know, I
Alright,
know.
all
But
You
I'm
time, all
excited about
time,
it.
huh?
you couldn't really describe him without saying like he's a mess of a character.
I don't know. Maybe. I can't decide.
You all right there, mate?
Okay. I've made my decision. I want to start crying. Oh!
Like I think he is a chaotic mess where it's like he's a organized mess. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he's so careful with his life, and at one point you kind of relate to him, right? I personally related to him a lot. I think he was way too cautious of his life, and it kind of hurt people around him. And in doing so, he doesn't really realize it. Like he doesn't want to be a bad person, but in turn he kind of is by not doing anything about his life. And I think that was really well written, and I think that the way that his character arc finished after season four, or like when season four ended, I think it was perfect. I mean, not to say that okay. Before I say Chidi, I mean I already did. Michael is a great character. Eleanor is a great character. All of them are great characters.
Oh my god, you're on your cheaty shit right now, aren't you?
I
You're gonna
am
get a
very-
stomach ache with the
Indecisive.
indecision.
I'm shaking right now. I'm a really big fan. But
Also,
yeah,
stomach ache. I call him Mr. Stomach Ache. You know?
yeah,
Whenever
we
he
ate
has
that
to.
Eminem pasta, right?
Oh, his mom's
Also, whenever
spaghetti.
Yeah,
he
well-
has to choose.
Yeah, yeah. He was giving the lecture, and he was like, he had an existential crisis on Earth, and then he started eating chocolate pasta. I forgot what it was, but it was so weird. That's what I liked about him. He was unafraid to be who he was after he found out what life was. After he was given every single answer in the universe, or what to the capacity that he should and wants to know in this current life.
Right.
He was like, "Well, I gave so much importance on being careful. I kind of realized, I don't, what the fuck? Like, I'm gonna die anyways. You know what I mean? I'm going to hell. No matter what I do, I'm going to hell. Like, that's what it was. Oh, spoilers.
Oh,
You know what?
Be
I think
careful,
moving
Roy.
forward,
Be
we should just
careful.
put a blanketed thing. Spoilers alert. If you don't want them, tune out now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're gonna put a
interesting.
blanket on this right now. It is gonna be a spoiler talk because yes, we have kept this a while for a long time. Not everyone really talks about the good place, and I feel like we should use this platform to talk about it on our fucking second episode.
Damn
All right.
right we should.
Anyways, yeah,
What
that's
up,
my
Miggy?
character. How about you guys? Yeah.
No, Satu first. Satu first. What's your favorite the
I,
good place character?
so it's really hard for me. Like I love Chidi, and I definitely say he's one of the most interesting characters in The Good Place. For me though, I feel like it boils down to Eleanor or Michael. And the reason why is I like the parallels behind their character arcs and development. Obviously, for Eleanor, I would say comparably as a human being. She's a pretty grounded person. You know what I mean? And she's a
Yeah.
person. She's very flawed. She wants to be good, but also is very aware when she's doing bad, so on and so forth. And for her, a lot of it is finding the ability to find profundity within like the state of being a human being and thus elevating. And the reason it's like almost Michael as well, because that's his character arc as well, right? He's obsessed with humans, wants to be a human, learns what it's like to be a human, and that like I guess humanization of oneself, or you could also say a deepening of an understanding of oneself. That journey really attracts me to Eleanor and Michael. But if I had to say edge it out on the whole, it would be Eleanor. And I think also like I can't lie, it really fucked me up in the end where she just wanted to live life with Chidi, even though he was ready to move on to effectively
Ah,
Oh my
nothingness,
god.
and
yeah.
how much
That's
that broke her, but also she was good with that. That degree of, I guess, like self actualization or betterment, I was like, damn, that is incredible. I can't do that. So I was just like, Eleanor's 100% goaded for me. That's where I'm at with it. What about you, Miggy? Who's your favorite
all
character
right.
in The Good
All right.
Place?
As you know, my favorite character is, bro. I gotta say it's Jason, bro. I mean, wait, Jianyu, the monk. Cause he's so
Oh.
silent. But kidding aside, it's Jason Mendoza, bro. You know why? Cause he just is not afraid to face life. Even when he was alive, he just wants to help others without knowing what's ahead. He just has to focus on the now and just don't think about the future. So he just lives in the now, just like what I'm doing right now. That's why I can relate to everything that he's doing.
Even though
Like
he's
he
stupid.
DJs
Okay.
also. He DJs, yeah. A DJ. He's a dancer. I'm a dancer too. What else? Except for the jokes, though. I don't do that. I don't do that shit.
Wouldn't
Editor.
no no
Silence.
no okay.
I love how you're
Uh,
so self-incriminating. Like
yeah,
no one was thinking about it. And you're just like, but.
yeah, it's like a Streisand effect.
Yeah. Jason, bro. Jason.
He's
Don't
the most
lock
fun.
yourself
He
in a
is the most
safe,
fun.
huh? It's gonna be a bad idea on the whole.
But
He
yeah, I
has his
mean,
own Janet, man. Come on.
hey, I like that.
Ah, spoiler, spoiler.
I'm no, that's
We're good.
season
You
four
can spoil
anyways. He
anything
talked
you
about
want.
it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, since everyone did talk about their favorite characters, don't we all agree that the cast was what made the show carry on throughout 4 seasons? I
Yeah.
believe that the
Ah, yes,
dynamic and their
yes.
chemistry was crucial,
Yeah.
right? It could have been anyone else that's different in that cast, but I think it was a really great cast. I think it's perfect, to be honest, to what they were trying to do in terms of their theme,
Yeah.
their characters,
Yeah.
and what they're trying to achieve throughout the story. I think that was perfect.
I agree.
Um, that's what I really liked about the show is because it was genuinely funny. It was written very well. They thought everything through with what the good place was. They gave deep lore in everything that they said. Every dialogue had purpose, and yeah, that's one reason why I think it's like super underrated. And it's just because not a lot of people are willing to have that conversation of life and death, but through the eyes of ethics, right? No one kind of understood what the good place was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and also to add, Not gonna lie, whenever I hear Chidi preach about ethics, I'm like, how come I've never thought of it that way? Like, come on. I learned new things from this show, which is applicable to the real world, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I actually forgot, but there are some notable moments in the Good Place where you can learn a few or two. You know.
Okay. I
I agree.
mean, what did you guys learn from the Good Place?
Well, that's actually a good question. I think there's quite a
Yeah.
lot of different things you can take from that. I don't know. I definitely one of the things I definitely say I would take away would be the constant attempt to be human. I think is the most prevalent thing because it's actually a thing, right? If we dive into the ethics of it as they did, obviously hundreds and hundreds of times in the show, um, through each reboot and everything, there comes to a point where you can't live perfectly. I feel like that was one of the more like clear things. Like no matter what you do,
Yeah,
there is no capability of living perfectly. Because even if say you
that's the
were
one.
what's his face the guy who first like got high, Doug Forsett, right? The guy who
Doug.
got high and like realized the afterlife. He when they see him in real life, he's like whatever 60, 70, 80, and he barely has enough points to make it in. He might not even make it in. And you've like pretty much like martyred or like self-flagellized yourself to living this sort of lifestyle, which is lovely, but that's not even good enough to get in. So it kind of goes back to that notion of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And for me at least, it comes to a point of not worrying about this macrocosmic concept of good and bad in terms of the afterlife, but trying to think of good and bad or like ethical morality within a case to case basis situation. And I think that concept of like being trying to be ethical as much as possible with the knowledge that you're not going to succeed, but if you're at least trying, you will create a net positive is for me at least one of the biggest takeaways from the entire show. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because like even random shit like I drink almond milk, and then I like every time I drink it, Cheaty's in my head, right? I'm like, it's the almond milk. That's why I'm going to hell. You know what I mean? And then I get real heady with it too, right? Because I'm like, well, no, it's not. Like it's not like I'm eating, what like say processed red meat because that's even worse. And then I think to myself, okay, but hang on a second. Why are these things bad societally? We should fix them. Okay, almond milk takes a lot of water to create. Well, if we just integrate vertical farming and use the technologies that we have that have been provided for us, we could recycle water, have unlimited water, and therefore it's not a bad thing. And I'll like, no, that's exactly it, right? I'll warp myself in this like cacophony of like abstract, like ethical abstractions, right? And then I'll think to myself, I'm like, brother, I'm not going to solve, like, even if I can solve this, I'm not going to solve this today. But then I think to myself, I'm like, all right, cool. If I'm doing that, or like drinking almond milk or doing something like that, what positive shit can I do, globally to help out, right? And I don't mean this because I want to like have enough points when I die. Just generally, how can my life create net positive? And obviously, those are like say small things like, oh, you know what? I know my parents tired or my friends tired or so and so or my girlfriend's tired. Let me do like the dishes or some sort of chores to like
Good
help
deed.
ease a
Yeah.
burden, right? Or then if
Yeah.
there's other things, a friend is like maybe doing a food drive or something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's how I can help out. Maybe I can make a bit of content for you. Here's a little bit of money. Cool charity thing. Maybe I can help out in that sort of sense. So that's kind of like I guess the takeaway of how to be human, if I had to phrase it into a sentence. I know that's a bit heady, but that
Mm.
was definitely my takeaway from watching The Good Place. What
So
about
what
you
you've
guys?
learned personally. All right. How about you,
Yeah.
Mickey?
Well, for me, if one thing I can think on top of my head is doing good doesn't necessarily earn you points. It's why you do it,
Mm.
why you do good.
The
Okay,
intention
that's what
behind it.
yeah, the intention. If you're doing good for the sake of just going to the good place, well, that's not how you earn points. You do it because you do it from your heart and you do it willingly without thinking of any reward. You
Hmm.
just have to do it. It's like the
Of
base
course.
morality of people here on Earth, right? how do we know if something's good and something's bad?
Yeah.
So well, based from my beliefs, kasi I'm a Christian kasi. So so that made sense that the motivation doing good. Just like I just want to share this lang
Yeah.
that in order to for me, my belief, for me to go to heaven, you don't have to do good things because wait, how do I say this properly?
In order to go to
Okay.
heaven, it's not about the good that you do. It's about
It's about realizing that oh wait, you said it already, pero
no,
it's
I
about
didn't.
realizing that God's grace is enough, that in that He
Mm.
loves you so much. So that's the reason why you do good. It's because He's been good to you and He loves you so much. So you don't have to do anything. Just be good because God loves you. You don't have to do good because you want to go to heaven.
Mhm.
So can you compare those two?
No, I get you. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's like
Yeah.
what I got from the good place also. That's why I felt like, oh, I can relate to the show, even if it's wacky.
The
I loved
initial
it. Yeah,
the initial hit of the show
Yeah.
was very
the
wacky.
idea is there. That's why I was
Yeah.
so invested in the show.
Even the
No, it's
visuals
good.
were wacky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
The set
exactly what you
design was
said.
crazy. Yeah. It's
Oh, set design was top notch. And actually, I do they win an award for that? I think that they. I can't.
even
Don't
like
quote me on this, but I feel like they did because it was like really well done. But anyways, just to
yeah.
add on to Mickey's point a minute ago, I also think about that as well because even if you take it from that's from a religious perspective. If you take it from a non-religious perspective, there's altruism, doing good, like you're like the best, right? Doing good for the sake of you don't need any other reason because it's the good thing, right? Then there's
Mm.
pro-social behaviors. You're doing it because it actually does benefit you, but it also benefits society. And then there's just self-interest. I'm going to do good because at the end of the day, I want to benefit myself, right? And I think
Yeah.
of all those sorts of things, not dissimilarly to you, Mickey. But then I can't lie. I also think about it from like a very curmudgeony old man perspective, where I'm just like, God damn it, can we just have nice things for once? Where I get angry, like almost like just random shit, right? Like if I see someone doesn't put away their shoes, I'm like, can we all just put away our shoes and then I'll put away the shoes? Not because I'm doing this out of the love of my heart or whatnot,
Mm.
right? But for the solely
Yeah.
like old man fact, I'm like, goddamn, things need to be organized and we need to have it this way so that way everything is good. You know what I mean? And then I think about when I do shit like that, I'm like, huh, I'm not intending to do good. I'm not intending to do evil either. Is this, have I finally like achieved true neutrality? You know what I mean? But,
gray area.
right, right. But I think about it and that's why I kind of go back to that notion of like a net positive, right? Like, so whatever you're doing, yeah, intentions do count, and I agree. Ideally, do things because it's the right thing to do, and that's the only reason you need. But if you can at least be aware that you're creating a net positive, I think that counts for something. You know what I mean? May not be perfect, and you don't expect, hey, I contributed to the net positive. I'm a good person. Sort of bullshit. Just if you can realize that, try to contribute to the net positive. And if a lot of people begin realizing that, we'll have a very large net positive. You know what I mean? At least that's how I try to think about it.
Hmm.
What
So
about you,
you
Roy?
both of you looked at it through two different lenses. One of you looked at it through a religious point of view, and Satu, you looked at it in a more grounded, realistic. I'm not saying that religion
You
isn't
could,
realistic. I'm
or you
shooting
could also
myself in the
say I'm
foot
a
here.
curmudgeon old man. I appreciate
No, no,
either
yeah, yeah.
notion.
No, you
I
looked at
just
it from an ethical point of view, but that's how it. That's
Yeah.
how it is. That's how what the show does. Is that
Yeah.
you guys looked at it as a whole. There was one thing that I've learned from. Oh, well, I learned multiple things, but the one of the best things that I've learned from the show was through Chidi's point of view, of just how does he realize, like when he found out that he was in the bad place, like his whole world came crushing down.
Yeah.
Because up to that point in season one, I was like like I was like understanding him. I was like, oh yeah, I love what he's talking about. He's this the sure he was very pretentious and he's very smart, like book smart. It's like shut up bookworm, you know what I mean? Like you're
Shut
kind
up,
of hearing him
nerd.
out. Yeah, you're kind of hearing him out, but it's like
Shut
it's
up,
not
Roy.
wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like it's like damn it, like you're hearing these things and it's like oh shit, that's relatable. You're hearing all these things that
Yeah.
he's talking about, like like ethics, how to earn points. And during season one, he was trying to teach Eleanor
Yeah.
how to get more points in
Yep.
the good place. It's like, what are you doing in the good place? I should be in the bad place. That's what Eleanor said.
Yeah.
And she later realizes that they're all in the bad place.
Yeah.
And it didn't only affect Eleanor, who was the main character at that point, but Chidi as well. He realized, why am I in the good? Why am I in the bad place?
Yeah.
Then eventually you realize that not a lot of people did enter the good place, right?
Yeah.
Even Doug,
Mm.
right? He was the one who
Corset.
accumulated the most points from that point. But then even he did get them points, and that broke his world down again.
Yeah.
That just made me realize, like, outside of the show, just do good. Like, no matter what you do, it should be the intention of behind your action, and you're doing it because you want to make people happy. You're doing a selfless act. You're doing things because you don't want anything in return, but it's just to make them happy, make them smile, feel loved, I guess. And
Mm.
that's just one thing that I realized even after his death, right? Quote unquote death, the death that he chose,
Yeah.
was that he lived a full life even after knowing all this, right? He needed to know everything that he needed to know as a human, as a mortal soul.
Yeah.
And then he realized, like, oh, all I wanted was just love, right? Just affirmation, assurance. And that was like, oh man, that's beautiful.
Fuck it.
Like,
it's
even
so good.
after doing all these things on Earth, he ends up going to the bad place, and then finds a way to make everyone of his friends into the good place. And he brings along Michael. He meets a lot of people like Derek, uh,
Derek.
Janet,
Yep.
right? And yeah, it's a very impactful show. I did say that it was my favorite show. That's a bit of a leeway. There are a lot of good shows that I've watched, but this was by far one of the more impactful ones because of the messages that it held behind its themes and its story. And
Okay.
yeah, that's
And
it
you also
for
mentioned
me.
that you thought that this was one of the best endings in modern TV.
Hmm.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit because I have mixed feelings. I agree with you, but I also
Yeah,
have
yeah.
mixed feelings toward that. So for
I've
you,
I'm
Roy,
neutral. I like it.
you just
uh,
like it.
I
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I've heard both sides. Like, for me, I believe that it was amazing that they get to choose
Mm,
uh, when they go out, right? Because you never really think about that. People usually think about how they go,
yeah.
like, what it is, but it's never like, oh, even after death there's death. No one really thought that, unless you're Doug,
Mm-hmm.
you did Doug Forsett, like,
Yeah.
unless you're him, you get
Unless,
high out of your
unless you are
fucking
him.
mind. Yeah, unless you are him. Sorry, you cannot be, because he is him. But that's the thing. Ending was very bleak, and it was not open ended. Like, it gave a full, complete story to what the writer wanted to show us, right? He had a full vision. He had 4 seasons in mind. He didn't want to push anything else beyond that.
Yeah.
And through those stories in that small bubble of his head, he thought of the good place, and he ended it knowing that, oh, this is how Michael, no, not Michael, sorry, Jason is going to die. This is how Tahani is going to die. This is how Eleanor is going to die, and this is how Jason is going to die. Like, sorry, Jason and Chidi.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, that's what it is. They all lived a good life. They lived a complete life, and even after they've completed everything in their life, they've accomplished everything that they wanted to do in their life, even after death. They get all that they wanted, all they ever needed, and even then, after how many ever years, how many million odd years, you
How many
still get to
Jeremy
think about,
Burmese?
Jeremy
yeah,
bury me.
Jeremy Bearimy's signature. Yeah, you're still human in the end of the day. You get bored. You fall out of love sometimes. You feel these emotions, and for me, I don't know if it's me being so existential, but I want to choose my own death. I want to choose when I get to get away and pass out. Like,
Fair enough.
that to me, it's a very personal thing.
So yeah.
I don't know what it is critically, right? I never
Yeah.
really saw it from people's, like, oh, this is a bad show because there was a bear in the background or there's a crew member on set when they were filming this. No, I'm not that critical. I'm trying to see it from the writers or director's point of view. Nothing took me out of it ever, and
Same.
that's
Same,
what I
same.
like. It was a very immersive experience when I was watching this show. But yeah, that's my take on the ending.
How about you, Sat?
You bastard, Roy. I agree with you on the whole. Listen, I think I think you hit the nail on the head. At the end of it, you're always going to be human, and you know that sort of energy gets not recycled, but like permeated through just like the sense, like I was talking about earlier, being human as well, right? But also at the same time, I'm still, and so I get that, and it's all wonderful and it's all good, but I'm still pissed, alright? Because I'll start with one, okay? One, why can't just Chidi and Eleanor be happy forever? God damn it, you know, like why the fuck can't we just enjoy a million trillion things? Like, come on, man, there's at least a billion more. Why the fuck why do he has to be so good and just be like, you know, Eleanor, I'll stay for you, and then she has to be like, no, it's okay, you can. Like, can't we just have fucking happiness? This is all I want in life. God
Dude,
damn
but
it!
that's so unique.
I know,
what,
but
what
still.
did Chidi say? No, Chidi says that like I read all the books that I ever wanted to read. Or
Yeah,
did he
I've
say
seen
that?
everywhere. I've read every
seen-
book everyone wanted
yeah.
to read. I've met every blah blah blah. He did everything, and yes, I agree
Yeah.
with you. But at the same time, God damn it, I just want happiness. Okay,
I know.
So-
that's why I like him.
go.
No, that's it. That's why I like Chidi. Is that he did everything he could. In the end of the day, you can still be bored. Like you could accomplish all these
Yes.
things in the world.
Well, I don't know if
You
it's
could even
boredom
do
more so
more.
than it is fulfillment. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. And what is fulfillment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you think about your life and you think about what you're going to do in the end. And if you die right now, what are you going to think about? What you have accomplished, right? And
Sure.
he has done everything in his power to do everything that he can after death. And
I agree.
and to him that's his self-fulfillment, right? That was personal to him.
Yeah.
Eleanor maybe could not understand that because she wanted just both of them. That's all she ever wanted was Chidi and Eleanor together.
Stop right there. That's great for me. We can leave it there. I don't know why there has to be
You're gonna
anything else.
cry now.
No,
You're
I
gonna cry
close.
now.
No, okay, so there's that. But then there's one other thing that fucking irks me, right?
Oh,
I can't, because I
What?
do
What
think that
is
the
it?
ending
What
is
is
a
it?
little bit open ended because there's no definitivity as they become those little light particles that fall down on Earth, right? That could be interpreted in a multitude of ways. Now, as I know you guys are, but I am a fan of isekai anime, okay?
oh my.
And what I
Okay,
don't understand
okay.
as well is why can't
Okay.
you just walk through the goddamn forest door and be reincarnated into a brand new life? Because these motherfuckers only lived once. In the afterlife, sure, they were doing things, but that's not life. They didn't have the struggles. They didn't, there wasn't the threat of death. So, rather than continuously doing that, why not just live some more? You know what I mean? And then they'll
start from
live a
level
million
one.
lives again and fall in love with each other again and keep falling in love with each other. And god damn it, isn't that enough? Can't we just have that? No, but on
No,
the real.
Sad, bro, you're missing one point, man.
What's up?
That's not the right way of reincarnating to another world.
Okay.
Walking through that forest door, nah, man. It's through Truck-kun.
That's you. You know what? How dare I betray such a
Mushoku?
staple?
Oh my god.
No wonder.
Truck-kun, isn't it?
No wonder they couldn't
on.
reincarnate. There was no fucking truck around.
Truck in the damn forest.
No, but on the real though, I think if I'm being a little bit more serious, I think the juxtaposition between that dichotomy, right? The fulfillment to be good enough just to return to cosmic energy, and maybe the greed, the love, the passion, the whatever it is, to be ever so caught up in continuous life. I don't know that they're opposite or mutually exclusive, but I do think that the weight of that, right, of just like trying to think of that, ponder that, I think because that was so impactful and leaves, at least in my opinion, so much for the viewer to talk about, to consider, and whatnot.
To
I
interpret
think that that's one of the reasons it was such a great ending for a lot of modern TV shows, especially because I personally try to think of it like, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, right? I was never mad with the way they wanted to end it. The ending was terrible, right?
I heard. I just don't.
Right?
I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot
I
of
haven't
TV
watched
shows.
it yet.
Fair enough. But there's a lot of TV shows that you can like, oh my god, that meme of like the drawing of a horse and stuff, like the legs are great, the torso is
yeah.
great, and then the head is like just terrible or whichever way around. And then once in a while, you'll just have this beautiful stallion. That's what I think. I'm not saying it's the best, but one of the best modern TV shows to fully flesh out a plot. And because of that impactful ending, that's what hits it so well for me.
Okay. So I have two more questions, but just before we wrap up, do you want to talk about anything else before we wrap this up?
I have a question for the both of you.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Okay, so this might be a little bit light, but remember in the real good place, there's a door that when you
Ah,
open
yeah,
it
yeah,
individually, there's anything that you can think of, right? So
Yeah.
if you were there, if you open the door, what would you see?
it's a good
Ah,
question.
that was my question.
Oh
That was
shit!
my
Yeah, yeah.
that actually was my question.
Oh,
So if you could
sorry,
ever have
sorry.
like one wish, no, that's
Yeah,
great.
one
That's great.
wish.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that you thought about it too.
Okay,
If
okay.
there's one thing that so the door, like let me try to understand this. The door, if you open it,
Mm,
you get to see
yeah.
whatever you want, and you can have whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That's it.
That's a bit tough because I'm still young, but
Yeah.
this is my answer. Even after 10 years, I can
Just
imagine.
titties everywhere, huh? Raining titties, mountain of titties. The bed is
No,
made of
no, no, no.
titties.
Roy,
I
huh?
wanna.
Roy, you, huh?
No, okay, I'm young, but not that
It's
young.
just
I
legs
wasn't
and
gonna say.
titties, just
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
No, no. What I wanted to say was I wanted
Exposed,
to
exposed.
no, I want to relive my best memories in life. Like I want to see them in a picture frame, or like not a picture frame, but like on film camera, and it's like blasted out through a projector, and then it just flashes all my life. Maybe in a format of like maybe an hour, like a movie format, maybe like 2 hours 30 minutes, but it's short enough where you get to see my entire life, but long enough for me to see what my entire life was up until that point. And yeah, that's what I said when I'm young, not
not,
because I want to see raining titties or
not to shit on your dreams, Roy, but you
go
are
ahead.
such a fucking art hoe. You know what
I
I mean?
no, like that's what that's there's two facets to what I just said.
No, I think
said
it's
I'm too young.
beautiful.
I might be a pervert, and I just said what I wanted. I'm an art hoe. I can't fucking
Just
win, dude.
you can. You should just accept
I
yourself for who you are.
Okay. You know what?
Okay.
I'll give a cleaner, more fun answer
No,
because
I
that
think
is my real answer.
I think your real answer is worthwhile. But I also think if we explore that a little bit and potentially what Miggy's getting at, the same thing that Jason learned, right? Is how many times are you going to watch that movie? 10,
Oh,
20, until it becomes
Yeah.
boring as fuck? Like, what, 400 times and you'll have each line memorized? Will you have any interest left in watching the best memories of your life? Will they then become mundane? And that's the thing I think of as well, right? And this is also what frustrates me because Miggy actually asked me that same sort of question, whatever, a month ago, 2 months ago. We were talking about the Good Place casually, and I thought about it too, and I said to Miggy, I would probably have whatever sorts of like fantastical things, riding dinosaurs, surfing tidal waves, mountain of titties, whatever, right? But for how long can that really go for, right? Like after
yeah.
a relatively short period of time, that's going to become really mundane. It's going to become
Mhm.
you're going to become so used to it. So when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I'd have a bunch of things, but I would definitely put them into like parameters to be able to enjoy those things, to then be able to drag that out for a really long time. And when I was thinking about that, when Miggy asked me that question, I was also thinking to myself, I'm like,
Mhm.
I think that the parameters in things or the non infinite level of things is what gives a lot of meaning to shit. Which is again why I was very upset with the ending because they could have rebooted for a brand new 4 seasons if they just started
Fuck
living
that,
again. You
dude.
know what
I
I mean?
think this show should be untouched.
I know
This
this
should
is
be
why
kept
it's perfect. I
locked
know,
in an archive. Yeah.
I know. But nevertheless, I was thinking about it, and I definitely think that would be. I when I think about it like that and try to really like put myself into it,
Mhm.
you really do get cheaty. Like it's not that long until you're like, you know what? I'm really full, satisfied. I'm happy. Let me just return to cosmic energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's
Hmm.
what I mean. That's by the way what I said. It's not gonna be forever. I'm not gonna rewatch it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that should be the cap of a finale of my life. You know what I mean? Like
God
oh
damn.
yeah, that's when I feel like like I should die or want to die. That's when I go to that door and go to a projector room. Just watch my life alone. Maybe have some popcorn. Right? Smart food. Smart
Smart
food.
food.
White
Infinite.
white. Yeah, white cheddar cheese popcorn. My favorite snack of all time.
Fair
Also the
enough.
best movie snack. Yeah.
I agree. I
Okay, what
want that
about you,
also.
Miggy? If you were to open
Okay.
that door, what do you see?
Okay.
A bigger mountain of titties, huh?
No,
A,
no,
a
no.
solo Twice concert where it's only just him. It's just gonna be a Twice concert. Yeah, right.
No, not really. But before I say my answer was mid, bro. For this, I just wanted to, you know, be in the NBA, be the Michael Jordan of that era, you know. Like,
Still good though. That's actually a very good
Decent
answer.
one.
but like right now, I think my answer currently might still be mid, but I'll still say it anyway. Uh, when I open that door, bro, I'll be reincarnated into another world, man.
Like if you
Come
want a
on,
fantasy
come
world,
on, yeah.
you wanna get
Once I
isekai.
yes, once I finish that world, I'm gonna go out of the door, go back in another world, bro.
Well, that's actually a great
Another
fucking
world.
answer.
It's a great answer. Damn it.
I can
See, that's
do
what
it
I'm saying.
for
You
you.
just
A lot of
infinitely,
Jeremy Beremies, bro.
right,
I can go on
That's a
forever.
lot of Jeremy.
bro? How many isekais are you ready to live? You know what I mean? Mushoku
Yeah.
Tensai, goddamn, reincarnated in another world as the greatest assassin or whatever.
Frontier.
Frontier,
What's that one?
Shangri-La Frontier.
Shangri-La
Bro,
Frontier.
I could live a couple billion gajillion years. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait to be OP, man. Come on.
Even like trash ass
go.
games like Sword Art Online.
Okay, let's
Alpine.
not player hate, but yeah, sort of.
I, yeah, that's my answer, man. That's
That's a pretty
cool,
good one.
cool.
How about you, Seth?
Yeah, like I said, it would be like a bunch of like whatever amazing things, right? Poets, philosophers, dinosaurs, tidal waves, everybody I
Mhm.
love, and then
Oh,
after
okay.
a certain point, it would just I realize I've like really quickly thought through it. I'm like, yeah, I would find a lot of satisfaction. So if there was no way to do kind of what Miggy's talking about, right? Like my interest is in life in infinitum, right? Just
Mhm.
an ever presence. If that's not like possible in this realm or scape of things, then it would be not very long until I go the way of cheating and be like, I am content and fulfilled. May this cosmic energy go back to the world and I don't know, give something positive, a net positive, like I was talking about before. But yeah, so there you go. You know what I mean?
That's a very. You guys have proper answers.
No, I think
I kind
yours
of want
is
to change
again
my
pretty-
answer.
No,
No, it's a pretty
okay.
solid
okay.
answer. Like
Solid,
I
solid.
agree with you. Like it
Uh,
makes sense. You want to
yeah.
watch the highlights of your life, and then you feel fulfilled, and you're. It's why I say it's so art hoey because this is exactly what you see at the end of like a really like thoughtful, existential or absurdist type film, where
I
you're
don't
just
want to
like,
sound like a pretentious ass.
no, you know, I don't.
Like-
It's not pretentious. It's some shit that you expect to see in a good way, where you're like genuinely fulfilled, and then you move on to the next thing because that's it, right? Like I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
the,
recap. Yeah, like that,
right,
yeah,
like the
that idea.
impermanence of things creates the satisfaction and value within them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So to say, look at it once, be like, those TikToks where people are like, "Let me put my outro," right? And then they just go like, saluting some shit and this dope music.
Yeah,
Isn't that what
bomb
you
ass.
want? Right, or maybe not you specifically, but that concept of right before you walk into the door, you have like one salute, one final one, and then you go and you're good. You know what I mean?
That's what I want. I want to cap it off. I want to summarize. I get a summary of my entire life. There's so many things that I do want to do, but like that's one of the things that I'm gonna do last. It is the last thing I will do if I
Yeah.
want to walk through death's door.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Give,
yeah,
give one highlight of your life so far, bro.
I do, but that's very personal, and I don't.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Respect, respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, she was an F cup. You know that?
No one like that. Not yet.
Exposed,
Not yet,
exposed.
sorry. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I don't want to say no because that will be a never. But
Oh,
positives. Change your mindset. Change. Your
Yo, you just gotta manifest, bro. You
You
just
gotta
gotta
manifest. You have
manifest.
to say yes until it becomes a yes. You know what I mean?
Jesus fucking.
But that's one of
Inspirational.
the questions. One of the questions I wanted to say. But the last question: how many rice bowls out of 10 would you give this?
Hey,
okay.
I think
Out of
if
out of
I-
10.
if
out
I
of 10.
personally had to hit it,
Mm.
I would go with a 9.9. I don't think I could give it a perfect one because I'll always have the same sorts of gripes of life in infinitum. reincarnation. Can't we do this? Da, 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 da. Please, Chidi and Eleanor just be together and happy forever. Janet and Jason just be together and happy forever. So I can't give it a 10 because I always have those sorts of feelings. But I'll
Mhm.
definitely say it was a 9.9. And I think everything about it, the writing, the acting, the casting, the plot development, and the person I watched it with, everything experience wise was just absolutely perfect. What about you, Mickey?
So 9.9.
Well, for me, the show is a 10. A 10.
10 rice bowls.
Yeah. Because it's just perfect, man. Like, yeah, they tried to escape the good place, the the created good place.
Mhm.
Then their journey from there to making it to the actual good place. Their journey is what makes it like
Yeah.
everything
Together.
perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oof, so good. Worth a watch. Totally recommend.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
Wait, what about you, Roy? How many rice bowls out
Uh,
of 10?
so I would say this is almost the same as yours, Satu. 9.9, but like maybe 3 grains of rice over spilling to make it a little bit of a 10.
So
But
9.9.3.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
that little extra.
Those 3 grains of rice, I will count those. But that's the thing. There were some scenes in season 3, I think, that were kind of slow.
What?
I would say it wasn't bad.
Mm,
It was just paced very slow for my taste. This is a personal thing now.
Fair
It's
enough.
just taste wise.
okay.
But I think
Respect.
they
Respect.
touched on everything like with the themes that they were going for, with the themes that they were writing. They achieved it through visuals. They achieved it through the chemistry of the cast. They spoke about everything that they wanted to. I think perfectly in their capacity. I also watched this show when I was very comfortable and very, you know, young in my
Yeah.
life. And on my second rewatch, I watched it, and that time I was like going through a lot, and I was thinking about like life and death, right? I was writing a script about life and death, and then it's like, oh yeah, let me watch A Good Place, and that was on my first watch rather, not my first rewatch. And on my second rewatch, that's when I kind of thought about, oh, this is a lot. This is actually a lot. I was watching it because I heard there's a good plot twist in season 1. You know about that? Like when you
Yeah.
hear about the good place, it's like, oh, it has the best plot twist ever in
Yeah.
TV series history. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then I watched it. It was good, but then I didn't understand it at the first watch. But then on the second watch, that's when everything kind of clicked. Everything was like, huh, maybe I am stupid. Like I am human, and that's okay. Like I was thinking about all these things because I was thinking too much and too little at the same time.
I
There
get you.
was a lot on my plate mentally, but through looking at it through a third person point of view, looking at it from a spiritual height, that's when I kind of realized, like, man, even though I'm human, everyone else is. Like I'm giving myself too much importance. I'm gravitating this world around. Like there's so much weight on my shoulders, and when I watch that show, it's like everyone's going through the same thing. You know, everyone's trying to get points. Everyone's trying to be human. Everyone wants what they want, and everyone needs what they need. Like just as much as I am. And when I said it was very impactful, that's like point 0.9 of the scale that I gave of like 9.9 rice bowls. And yeah, that's my final rating. So everyone said 9.9, 9.9, and there's a 10. So that's
The average is
math.
out to 9.9.
Yeah, yeah. So that 38. Oh, sorry, 28 out of 30. So
Pretty damn
28.9.
good.
Yeah, 28.9 for me.
Well, I appreciate that from you boys. It's good to dive into it.
39 point. Damn.
Is there any other things we
Goddamn.
should touch on? No, I think we hit everything. I think we hit every note. Roy, why don't you go ahead and sign us out? Let the people know. You
What
know,
we got going on? Yeah.
what we got going on. Ask them to like, comment, and subscribe. Ask them, what other things we should dive into next, and sign us
I
out.
feel like you're already doing that.
What do we call our fans, bro?
Uh, Mom.
Overricers. Yeah.
No, adding
Anyway.
on to it is very
The
cheap,
rice
very
field
cheap.
workers. You know what I
let's
mean?
let's let's cook this. Let's cook this through.
Yeah. Anyway.
Don't worry, we
Yeah.
can cut into
Well,
we can cut. We're fine. We have editing.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Three,
Yeah.
two, one. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for joining me talking about The Good Place. Thank you for participating in this conversation of a very underrated comedic show, one of the best. And yeah, follow us on our socials and just keep in touch with OverRice Media Club. We'll be talking about a lot more. And tune in for Tuesday. We're going to be talking about something else, maybe. Yeah, maybe not even a series, maybe a different topic.
I'm looking forward to it.
Looking
All right.
forward.
Yep.
Looking forward.
See you
Good job,
guys.
Roy. Good job,
Peace.
guys.
See you.